bear witness with this. Because he knows my brother. I went to visit my brother in prison. And when I went there, where I'm having a meeting with my brother, but every person that I looked at who was in this mess hall meeting with their families, I knew why they were in jail. Like, I would look at somebody and say, okay, he molested his daughter. He molested, or maybe not the reason that they were in jail, but I knew like dirt on all these people, and it was freaking me out. And I was like, I thought I was just judging these people, and I'm like talking to myself, man, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to have a meeting with my brother, and I know all of this stuff about these people, and it was hard to focus. So you got to be able to, like, that stuff can drive you crazy. You go to, and so they say it's a joke now, and it's coming out more and more. They don't call it prophetic anymore. When it's just like a universal term, they say you're very empathic. I'm an empath is the new term for it. And there's jokes. They say, you know what I'm saying? Empaths don't go to Walmart. We can't go out because they're able to pick up on everybody's energy. So this is a universal thing, and it's becoming more in the mainstream. People are recognize it. I'm an empath. I'm able to pick up on other people's emotions. It gets into schizophrenia, man. You have to learn how to balance the energy, because if you're having a conversation with a random stranger and you know what they're thinking during the conversation, that stuff's overwhelming. That stuff is overwhelming. You got to be able to know when to tune into it, if you're supposed to approach it, when to turn it off or turn it on. It can be overwhelming. And so a lot of times people do turn to drugs and alcohol to suppress these feelings and emotions. But it's a God-given feeling. You were born with it, but nobody's ever showed you how to access it. Nobody's been able to show you how to deal with the information. And it shows results. If it was just there and it was all in your imagination, then it would just be your imagination. But we got to understand the way God works is he works with our imagination. And so that's the thing we have to get over. We think it's our mind is playing tricks on us, and we call it that. My mind's just playing tricks on me, right? But that's how it works. It works in your mind's eye. You'll start seeing scenarios in your head that that you're familiar with. And I remember, and I told this story many times, and this was early on, man. I was like 17, 18 when this happened. But me and it was after a church service. Me, my wife, and a friend. We went to Walmart. We had to pick up a few groceries. But whenever we left, we picked up we were getting the groceries, but when we were gonna leave, we were gonna go to Sonic and get something to eat, and we only had enough money to all get cheeseburgers and get a meal or whatever. So to get what we're gonna get at the store and get the meal. So we're in line about to check out, and I felt that voice, that impression, which is the voice of the Holy Spirit, right? And it says, "Pay for that lady's groceries in front of you." And this is what the impression that I got. And I'm like, I only have enough money to buy my my meal that we're going out to eat. I'm not gonna. That's all the money I have. And an impression was like, use that money to pay for her stuff. And I felt like it was the voice of the Holy Spirit. Like I knew it was a legit thing. And I'm sitting there rationalizing in my head with that voice. No. I don't. I haven't ate. I didn't eat. All I had was lunch. I'm not gonna have money for dinner if I do that. And the voice was persistent. Pay for that lady's groceries. And I'm making up all these excuses in my head why I shouldn't do it. Okay. Well, the lady goes. They ring her up. She goes to check out. They tell her how much it is. And she only had she had bananas and like 3 or 4 canned goods, which was probably only like $4 worth of stuff. And that voice was telling me to pay for $4, man. And it's kind of emotional, but I rationalized with that voice, and I didn't. And she had to pay for her food, and she didn't have enough money. And I sat there. It's emotional, man. I sat there and watched her put some of those canned goods back. And I didn't say nothing. And so she had to put like 2 cans. So she only got like bananas and 2 canned goods or whatever. They put some of it back because she couldn't afford it. And then she walks off and we pay for our food and we go to walk off. And I feel this really strong guilt in my spirit, because we always ask God to use us, right? We always ask him to use us, and we want to be used in great and mighty ways. But he says, if you're not faithful with the small things, I'm not going to trust you with big things. If you're not going to be faithful with paying for this lady's $4 worth of groceries in a supernatural encounter just to show my love to her, then how am I going to trust you for big miracles in places and stuff? So I felt this really big guilt, man, and that's what they call in the Bible grieving the Holy Spirit. You grieve the Holy Spirit. And I said something to my wife when we left. I said, man, I felt like I should have paid for that woman's stuff. And my wife's like, yeah, I felt like that too, but we didn't. And so just big grief, like I failed God, I let God down, I let that lady down, because we're always asking to be used. And so it was a learning experience, right? So next time you hear that voice, next time you have that feeling to do something, guess what? You better do it. You better do it, because you don't want to feel that way anymore. You don't want to grieve the Holy Spirit. And it's a learning curve. We didn't have like people to sit down and teach us about this stuff. This is straight learning through the Holy Spirit. One of the names of the Holy Spirit it goes by is the teacher. It will lead you and teach you and guide you into all truth. So it's a spiritual connection with God that teaches you through life, through scenario, through situation, through people, through the television. He'll use everything in your life, through your imagination, to teach you things that nobody else has taught you. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast segment, be sure to listen to the entire episode by clicking the video to your right. Also, we are on iTunes. You can download the MP3 versions as well. Be sure to subscribe for future episodes.